And along with me, it will be the creative director of Tecnografica, Mr. Marco Fontana, which will live hand draw in.
Oh yes, I love that. I love it.
Pretty nice. I can't see you now, though.
You can't? Oh my God! Hold on. That's why I put on my glasses, because I didn't know what I was what I was clicking on.
No problem. So just to give you an idea, basically we will record this podcast, and then we will broadcast it next week in several platforms. Of course, we will let you know, so that you can also share it with your within your channels. But I think this is something very interesting and cool, especially for our community, because they are always aiming to see new designers and new players, and also players that are very well known, such as you. And so I'd like to start right away, and I welcome our very special guest here, Sandra Diaz-Velasco from Miami. So she's a very talented and very famous Miami interior designer, and I'm very glad to be an architect, of course. And I'm very glad to be here with you today, along with our creative director, Marco Fontana. So I'd like you to give us an idea of who you are and what you do, presentation of yourself.
Thank you, Stefano and Marco. It's really a pleasure to be here, and I'm really honored that you thought about me and Eolo Design for this initiative. I'm an architect, as Stefano said, an interior designer. I'm based in Miami, and we specialize in doing residential projects and some commercial and hospitality as well. And as we say, we love to make dreams come true. That's our job. That's our mojo. And from then on, we work as a team to make it all happen. Stefano, you more than anyone know that we leave it all there, and this is our passion. So we're very happy to do it. We are very thankful always to give our clients the best, and that's what we do.
And this is something I already know, because we are, of course, following you in on different social media and seeing your work. And of course, also we collaborated together for some projects. And I see your passion and your team passion on everything that you are doing in your projects, which are mainly based in US. And I was aiming to do this podcast series also in order to understand how different business and different countries are facing the emergency that we are living today. So one question that I wanted to ask you is how this COVID-19 disease and emergency is influencing your job and your projects.
Well, this impacted us very profoundly. I would say everyone in the world, and what it's been doing. Well, it's impacted us both professional, and personally. And aside from anything else besides some social distancing and how reality is going to change for all of us in the future, what I also want to say is it's been amazing that this has been like a good excuse to evolve into wellness. And for that, I'm thankful. And I think my team is also taking it like that. We have taken this time to do many things that we always complained that we didn't have time to do.
Yeah.
We have...
Like gardening.
Well, I wish that I had a lot of garden, to walk on, but things similar to that, and not only to that, but to office or to our processes, to the normal dialect, the normal interactive interchange of ideas. Like everything has changed, and besides from everything else that everyone focusing, and talking about. For us, it's been good. It's been good from that point of view. Of course, we have challenges. We have some projects that have come to a stall point because first they were ready for us to, begin construction, and many buildings here have not allowed us to get into. It's,
Yeah.
of course, there's no allowance to external people to get into the buildings. And so that's, those projects are at stall, and where we've been lucky that we have many others that are on the design process, and we always work virtually. Like we have the luck that we have many clients that do not live here, either in the States or in the city, that we are used to work with them virtually. So that's why we haven't felt, like that stopping 100%. We haven't felt it. We have kept working. Thankfully, we're a small boutique studio that we pursue, like with small guys pursuing big jobs.
Yeah, sure, sure.
But yeah, so we have been able to keep working together, of course, virtually. Like there's no one at the office right now. It's only my husband and myself at the office, and everyone is working virtually. But we're lucky that we haven't stopped, and we have been able to retain our guys, which is the most that I was worried about. I wanted my team to not be touched, to keep him intact. And we're lucky to say that we're still functioning well, and thankfully well.
This I think this is something that is definitely affecting the way of working in this period. But I also think that this is something that will last in a longer period. For example, in Italy, I mean, especially for some several generations, is difficult to think about work without actually going to work. While from this point of view, smart working is something maybe Northern Europe or US is a bit more already organized from this point of view. So my other question to you is, do you think that this situation and these things that we are doing right now, such as smart working or doing Zoom calls, meeting with our clients, is this something in your opinion that will last longer even after this first emergency period?
Oh yes, for sure, for sure. Technology will play an amazing, vital part in what is going to be society, at all levels, beginning with work, with line of work. Like it will be impacting tremendously, even more. If it was doing it before, even more now. We will depend on technology. I cannot even imagine the percentage, because that's going to be key for everyone to keep advancing and producing everything related, and not only our profession, but all profession.
Yeah,
of course, it's going to be more virtual. I think office buildings are going to be impacted big time. The way that office buildings are going to be designed are going to be completely different from now on. I've been invited. I've been talking to some local TV show news, and news TV and podcasts and webinars with our trade, and that's basically all of us coincide in saying that office buildings are going to be the most impacted in terms of design and the way that they work.
So open offices are dead and cubicles are coming back from the
I think
80s.
so. Yes, it's gonna be way more. Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of island-like design. I think is gonna be the key. Like what was before those privacy pods that they were designed before. Now they're going to be the norm, more and more. I think that's the side of our business that's gonna be more in health. You know, like hospitality, like all the public areas for hospitality, that's going to be the biggest impacted. And for home, I'm sorry if I went out from your question.
No problem, no problem. Feel free to say what you feel, because it's very interesting even for me, because we are interviewing several players in the interior design field, in the architectural field, from all over the places, different countries. And it's very interesting to me to see what is the focus of every person that I interview, and how his or her country is facing this disease, and how it's affecting the way of working. Because this is definitely something, I mean, in my opinion, there was a life before and a life after.
Oh, yes.
It is. And it's very important for example, talking about the digital revolution, which is something that was already happening since a couple of years, 10 years, maybe 5 years. But right now, the companies that are not doing that are going all the way on that. But it is very difficult if you start now. While if you started before, you are on a good track.
Exactly. I think you say, a concept that's key for evolution. We have to be flexible and to accept that change is the only constant. That's key. If like if people before were not adapting to this new era, because we saw it coming. It's a lot of like this was like the huge like step point, like the accelerator to that change. But if someone was kind of reluctant to change and to adjust to that change, it will not, it would not happen whatever they were expecting on doing. This time was an accelerator, like it was like a 4-6 week accelerator, igniting motor for us to just accept it, keep accepting, or change completely a mindset and evolve. And but to me, it's a good excuse to evolve into wellness. I can say it, like I can't stop thinking about it. Like and you're right, there's a before and after. It's a before and after this, and but the after can be good. Like we there's lots of good things that we creatives. That's the biggest challenge for us. It's up to us.
It's really up to us.
It's up to us to shape the new world, and this is an amazing opportunity we have. This is like I could not have asked to be in another time in the world. Like this is a great chance for us, the creatives, to shape the new world, and we have it in our hands, and it's up to us to accept that challenge, to embrace it, to change the mindset, and to adapt.
Now more than ever, being able to adapt to this new situation is what will make us survive this situation, as we already did in the past. What do you think will be, the role, for example, of traditional sales agents or traditional vendors in this new world? Will they have a place, an important role? Will their role be reduced, or I think they need to change as well?
It's up to them, and it's up to everyone. It's only about us designers. It's just we need, in architects, we need to change But yeah, if we talk about them, it's up to them. Like all of us have to reinvent ourselves, every single one of us. But they can also embrace, change. So many of them, and you know them, and like that's how we know each
Yeah,
other.
yeah,
If it were not for them, we wouldn't be
sure,
talking today.
exactly.
Uh, I think the role is important. More than every role is important, and it won't disappear unless they evolve, like they embrace change. It's the new way of thinking. It's nothing is like, to me, that's the way I think, that nothing has to disappear. It disappears if they don't change,
Yeah,
if they don't evolve. And then all of us in every single one of our traits have to think creative about how we're going to approach this new way of selling. Maybe they need to learn more to work virtually. Maybe they need to be more proactive into digitally in doing demonstrations. Like I have a friend that's a rep, talking about her.
mm-hmm.
You made me remind her about her. She is a vendors and represents fabrics, a uh, big fabric store in selling that we have local here. And she just decided to do lives, but it was one of the first people to began doing lives, showing all of us, her
Yeah,
clients,
yeah,
okay, this is it. We got this. Look, this is amazing. And she puts it, and she creates like really nice, cute pictures of the new sample or the new fabric, and she puts it next to a really beautiful background that it kind of goes with it. She just got creative, and she's working more than ever.
yeah. I
Like
think
it's
this is definitely another opportunity for this type of jobs, and from some point of views is even better. For example, we are a wool covering company, and we are working with sales agents, of course, and some of them are working internal the company. For example, the one that are working on the Italian territory. So
mm-hmm.
what happened since until 3 months ago? They started from our company, driving the car all the way to northern Italy, southern Italy. It takes maybe 3-4 hours to go to the client. Of course, it is important to have a direct contact to your client and to your partner. But we discover in this 2 months that we are also able to reach the clients in other way. And we can maybe do 20 appointments by day, one in Naples, one in Rome, one in Milan, and within 3 hours of time. And this is, I think, the thing that is really changing, and also it is changing the mindset of the clients. They maybe were not aiming to do that very well. They wanted you to come and see the product and see the
And
samples,
coach. Uh-huh.
and which also is very important. But yeah, we discovered that there are other channels, other ways, and as you said, it is very important to evolve from this point of view as well. So Sandra, tell us something about your one of your latest projects, and the way you work. It's very fascinating to me to understand that from you.
Thank you. Well, I want to talk about one of this new project this last project that we did together. It
Oh
was
yeah.
A penthouse renovation here in one of our very beautiful parts of South Florida. It was a penthouse. It's a couple from Ohio, and they had a set uh, goal for a small project, and they came to me. The idea was to do a small project, and the way they showed me things, for some reason I knew that they wanted more than that, and I took the risk and proposed my vision of what was they needed, and they liked it. So I took that risk, and I say, I know that you only have this in mind, but I definitely per what we talk, see, this is what you need. So I always like to do that. You like, if I see that someone comes to me, but I see that I can give more, or they you know, like they can have more for what they think they, you know what, most of the clients do not know what they want.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's but
Until you show them.
until we show
Yeah.
what is it, you know, like they tell, because it's not their job to do it, it's our
Sure.
job. We have to interpret, you know, whatever they are saying, their, you know, the way they talk to each other, if it is a couple, the way they talk to each other, the way they, you know, like whenever you're meeting with them, many things, you know, like as a designer and architect, I learned to be a bit of a psychologist to see, okay,
exactly.
what are they telling me that they're not saying in words? So I try to always interpret the best I can, whatever they want. I'm very graphic. So I try to listen a lot. At the beginning, I take a bit of time. I always ask them, listen, you won't see a sketch in a second, well, depending on the project, but for some of them, I need to listen a lot, and then I come up with whatever I, you know, like we think. I love to do virtual presentations. I love everything virtual. We've been doing that for almost 10 years now. Like in technology, we're always embrace technology. I love it. And that way, that vision they have is very graphic. So we do virtual tours, we do, you know, renderings, and a lot of, that's why I ask always about my vendors, my team of vendors, lots of graphics, so I can have the better, you know, I can show the most realistic idea when I present something. Most of that's the best way for me to sell the idea.
People want to see.
That's what we did. They fall in love with that. But I do it from a more kind of holistic approach to combining hand sketches and then this virtual reality, like a lot of that. And I use many of the things they give me, pictures of their family, or I tie it. She sent me, this client, she sent me a picture of her granddaughter with a horse. They train horses. So that she sent me that picture, and the color, everything that picture had was the starting point for us to develop the design. And we kept some things also. If it's a renovation, we like to keep things that we like from the space, or the you know, like the apartment in this case was a piece of red marble they had at the entrance, and that red coincided with the red of the hoodie of the granddaughter that she had in the picture with a dark brown. That was the beginning of the project, was the connection of the existing with what she had, and then from then on we carry on. And then it was a very small scope, but we end up doing the whole thing. And so that's how we develop the idea, and we end up doing the whole project.
Yeah.
It was one of the major, it's been one of the major scope projects. It was a full scope. It was interior architecture, had some part structural, and we went all the way to interior design. So it was a very kind of those dream projects that we were able to develop full. And
in fact, I saw that was advertised on several magazines and social media channels, and I love that project. I'm following you. I'm following you, so I see all the process, all the details in time, and I love the way you work, you and your team. You work.
Thank you. Well, we're very thankful because that project. It's been, you know, like an Italian magazine. Saw the project and they liked it, so they were the first to publish the project, and they invited us to OMI, to Fiera, talk about it. And for us, it's been amazing. You know, like I love Italy. I think, you know, I love Italy, everything involving that richness of culture, and you guys, the creatives, I love the way you guys do design. So
Because
they invited me
we
to
have a
talk
common
about.
Latin genetic. That's why.
You got it.
Ita-
You have it.
you
It's so
too. You
big.
too.
And
You too.
you have that, like the creativity in your everywhere. It's rich, like so rich. And I so admire it. And to us was an honor to be there in Fiera talking about one of our projects. It was a dream come true. I still can't believe it.
From what I can, from what I understand from you, how you approach a project, this is a way that you can also use in this new era, let's say. So the way you work is something that you can also use in this, let's say, after COVID-19 era, because you are using a lot of virtual tours or digital tools. This is, I think, very important to be successful in this new period. But how is Miami facing the situation? Are people allowed to go out, or because right now we just entered on Monday, phase 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
uh-huh.
So basically we are now allowed to uh, go out for 10 minutes. No, a bit more. But no, it was a very difficult situation, and I know that also US is facing a bad situation right now in terms of that.
Yes, yeah. Situation here in the most dense area populations, where for example, we are here in it's a kind of the downtown of
Yep.
the city. Big building, tall buildings, a lot of density. Like many units per square foot or per square meter, and lots of tall buildings. That's where the situation got kind of more complicated, because we have a lot of people together. Yeah. And that's when like the outbreak came, hit us the hardest. The biggest impacted city has been so far New York. For some reason, New York, it was, took the biggest hit. Then Los Angeles took the second biggest hit, and then the area of Florida was the third one. It's been the third one. So we had, like we went into lockdown the fastest, and it's difficult here in Miami. People don't like to be inside.
Oh yeah. I can imagine why.
They taking it hard. I was lucky. I'm lucky because I work and live in the same building. My office is on a second floor, and I live on a 15th floor. So somehow I'm used to be locked down in a way. Like
okay,
I don't go out that much, so I haven't felt it that much, and it has not impacted me that much because I haven't felt it that way. That I, like it's not that I commute all the time, and when we go out for site visits and stuff, but mostly it's not a day-to-day activity for me. So I haven't felt it. So to me, it's been fine. I'm kind of used to it. But for so many of my friends, family, people, it's been very difficult to be locked down. And we have beaches, and we have people are out and about the whole time.
Here in Italy, all Italians were surprised on how Italians were so good in following the rules. And so everybody was surprised that that we were able to actually stay home and follow the rules, except for some rare situations, like barbecues organized on roofs and terraces.
Oh, really?
With 50 people grilling.
Oh, wow,
grilling.
Really?
Yeah. But for the most, it was a good reaction by Italians. I think also because we faced a very bad situation as one of the first countries to be there. I was in New York 1 month and a half ago. I've been able to come back on March 15th,
before the lockdown.
just before the lockdown. And I was on phone conversation with my family and friends, and they were telling me, oh, here in Italy everything is going wild, and while in New York and in US, mm, maybe nobody was
Nobody,
talking about it.
nobody, like people here woke up kind of late.
Yeah,
And the thing is, like, because I was in Europe I was in February on Europe, I felt,
yeah,
like I was able to feel
something was
the
happening. Yeah,
something was happening, and we took measures when we arrived kind of early on, but kind of only us, like small people around, but we were able kind of to plan and take measures. But most of the people took a lot of time. And here in the United States, we took long time. We could have avoided lots of things that happened if we had planned and kind of listened
before.
to what was happening in Europe before.
I think
But
that
anyway,
US reacted later, but also
yeah,
Europe reacted later because everything was already
yeah,
happening in China. So I think that people really start to act when something is
it's
just
impending.
pointing at
Exactly.
you, that you otherwise you just I don't care. And
That's
no,
the
it's
thing. That's what we think. Like what's been beautiful about this that we had to learn a hard way, that we are all one. There's no barriers, there's no boundaries, there's no
yeah,
more, like frontiers any longer. We're all one, and everything we do or everything I do impact the other.
is
We have to learn that. It's everything we do impact the other,
and
and
yeah,
many people didn't think that before. Now it's clear that there's no barriers, that everything, like we're all the same, no matter how high, low, whatever it is, we're all the same. And if we don't take that in mind into account, or not only personally but professionally in our designs, everything in our mindset, if we don't think about who are we going to affect with what we do.
totally
um,
agree.
for example, for design, uh, I always, like my country of origin is Colombia,
Hmm.
and I don't want to talk about dates, but I learned architecture. I learned my trade uh, without a computer. Like I had to
Sure.
learn everything by
O-
hand. There was
Old
not
school.
old school, like it was all by hand. We had to design with the elements. Our designs and buildings, we had to take into account the wind, the water, like everything, the natural elements. We had to locate our buildings, responding to them, to taking advantage of natural lighting, and ventilation, cross ventilation. So how we would design or doing like everything. Um, and here, that's less of a norm, like, and from some years we have here in the States uh, that the green building,
Hmm.
movement. And I'm happy to say that I am certified on that, because it's natural for me. It's natural. It was easy for me to get the idea. And now it's a good excuse to evolve into it for us designers and architects to design, thinking about how our design impacts the environment, no matter what,
Totally
no
agree.
matter how our design is going to impact the others, and
And do you think?
ultimately Mother
Yeah,
Earth.
please, sorry. And do you think that this will be one of the topics, one of the points that will change in the next era of designing? Because how do you think design will change after this? How your projects will change, and how clients will look at design, and what will they want for their home or their offices?
Of course, it will completely. It what I was saying before is the perfect excuse. I always wanted to introduce many of my wellness, ideas into my designs. And sometimes because of cost, like how sustainable the return on investment, the ROI, sometimes is a little higher at the first time.
Yeah.
It was difficult to sell that cost 10-15% more. But now everyone is going to want that. Everyone is going to want it. And because everyone's going to want it, prices are going to come kind of a bit more amicable for all the projects to begin as they should. From all aspects, from zero, or even if it's a renovation, all the materials that we use, water-based, non-organic volatile compounds and paints and wallpapers, and better use of, if we're gonna have plastics and acrylics, recycled content, LED lighting, even better, even more now, like no more fluorescent, that's out already, super low, but now it's even more, like everything we're gonna have the perfect excuse to do it, to impact it all the way through the whole process. We're gonna be able to do that. We're gonna have to be more proficient on that. We have to learn a lot, be more efficient into implementing all the strategies and protocols and process, because not many people are used to that. We are lucky to have that already implemented. Many of our clients like that, so that we have a lot of that into motion in whatever we specify and do. But now it's gonna be perfect for us to have in our proposals of designs the good excuse. This is not only about us, but it's not only affecting us, but
everybody.
How it affects the others.
Yeah. Because I've read an article on some magazine and I think Vice, where they basically said that this is the very first situation in which all the globes is actually facing the same situation. Everybody is facing the same situation in a digital era where everybody is connected, so everybody can share their situation there. And we are finding out that either you are in Italy, in Colombia, in US, or in Nigeria, everybody is facing the same exact situation. Everybody's facing the same problems to stay home, or to be able to do something that you were not used to. For example, staying home 24 hours without going to work. And I found that is fascinating from a point of view, because as you said, people are really now starting to understand that it's all one. It's not just a single. It's all one. And I think this will, as you said, really affect also the interior design, architectural world. For example, we are seeing now that private customers, they are maybe it's 2 months that they are at home, looking at that white wall, and they want to do maybe a wallpaper.
Something beautiful. Yes, I was going to say about that. Like, we're gonna have, you guys, like all of us, we have more inquiries about, like for residential projects, more, even more now. People want to be comfortable
at home.
People want to be well. And now that they have more time at home, that, they begin seeing that thing that they didn't like. Okay, how are we gonna do this? And all clients are saying, listen, can we just, redo this? Like, can we rethink this way? And then we just, that part that you, like that you could not finish because we didn't want to go into that phase. Now, why don't we revisit that part and then just do something good to that area or something like that?
True.
And it's a great excuse to do that. Also, what I see for home renovations now on, it's whenever we do design, it's gonna, for example, to me, kitchens are gonna be greener than ever. They're gonna have more space for nature, green, like things, small pots and plants that where they can have the species about it. I see, like I was looking at Saloni like a
Mm-hmm.
couple of years ago, that trend of having more kind of greens into the kitchens, so you can kind of play more with nature in a better indoor air quality in the designs, more natural lighting. It's way more important than ever, and how we balance it with artificial lighting. Also, I see more homes, offices
Yeah.
design.
Yeah.
You know, but by design to wellness, to how I feel comfort and how I feel well. My
Even
best. I was giving a podcast one of these days in one of the show, some of the webinars or shows that I've been so thankfully invited to do, and I talk about home offices, and it's great the way that now we can focus more on that, and people want to do that more
yeah.
than ever. That many, we're gonna be spending more time at home. I see that for sure for a year or two more,
Yeah.
for sure, that we're
Even
gonna be more to that.
even because companies are now changing their policies in terms of having I remember going in several design studios where maybe they have 100 designers, one 30 centimeter after the other, and this is something which is not possible anymore, and maybe companies will start to smart working as we are already doing, having people at home working. So when you are at home, you want to feel at office in some way, because you don't want to work in the same place where you do your breakfast. And
Exactly. That's the key to maintain focus. That's so one part of the podcast that I was giving is like, we have to now develop a bit more professional. But the luxury of being at home is that you can be more homey, more comfort. But at the same time, you need to kind of develop. But it's not only the physical part, but the mental, the mindset part
yeah.
also. Separate, have a little bit of privacy, and have that same schedule kind of time, type of focus, and separate your personal from your professional task and all of that. And that's a key part of it. But I also see, in terms of going into wellness, which I think is key for us to go through this, is also see lots of spaces for meditation or home gyms, more, like design, more well thought about and more thought of. And that's when architecture and design and you guys come in so handy in order to have a good design to it. So we have a lot of open doors.
Architecture and design will change based on how the
Completely,
behavior of the people will change, and is already changing.
completely. The built environment, it's always been, like the starting point and the defining, like the one that defines how we live. It's it. That's it. It's physical.
Yeah.
So that's the way we're going. So it's up. We have a big responsibility on it. And for example, the offices, you were talking about the hundreds, people. Maybe what they do is kind of shift, like number of days.
Yeah.
This X amount of people come to work, and then the next is the other amount to occupy the same space. Do it through shifts, so, and then some of them work from here, some of them work from home.
From home, yeah.
More more digital, so no one touches surfaces much, no elevator. Like I see, your eye is the one opening the door for the elevator, or just stopping in front of a face recognition, and sensors, for sensors, presence, if you stop, passing by, the light would automatically lit up, so you don't have to touch a switch, or you don't have to,
These are one of the things that will change the most, I think, along with commercial spaces, or spaces like airports or train stations. And
exactly. Yeah, I'm seeing Marco, right? Marco.
Yeah.
Drawing the shark.
Drawing sharks and yeah.
For fear. That's the other thing, like balance. And I was loving the other designer of the coffee. I love that.
Oh, yeah,
loving the art he's doing. This is amazing. Uh, so yeah, so that's like that's another thing, like the fear-based culture that we have to avoid. It's a key for, that's why I've been talking about wellness all the time, because that's not only physical but mental and spiritual. Like now that's why I'm so excited, because now is the time that barriers kind of are not that separated, they don't separate any longer. We are now one soul. We're mind, spirit, and body together now. It's not before we compartmentalize, like the professional, it's here, the person is here, or like you're now you are all one, and we have that I feel kind of more free to talk about all of this, and it's amazing because all of us are in the same boat.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can talk more freely about how you find yourself mentally, your mindset connects to your body, like all that. It's amazing, and in our designs now more than ever, we can introduce that. I always dream of also designing products or lines of fabrics or wallpapers, things like that. And that's another.
Let's do that.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Right?
We'll do for sure.
Awesome. That's another amazing opportunity. Collaborations now more than ever are gonna be the key for all of us to survive and to thrive. Not survive, to thrive. That's how I see it. That's how I've been seeing it from the beginning. These excuses, it's amazing how they are a great excuse for all of this collaboration, wellness, cooperation, not competition, all that.
No, what I think is, as you're saying this, is that people now, they want to feel more comfortable. They want to stay well. They don't want to have fear anymore. They don't want to, being in a bad position, because we are already in a bad position. So we want to now and for the next future to stay well, and the culture of well-being, as you were saying, will be paramount in the next years and in the next month coming. And the role of interior designers and architects will be very important from this point of view.
If we are able to communicate that of my company, it's Mojers is always of my company mission. It's we have it well written, and we remind ourselves of it all the time. It's like we communicate emotions. That's what we do. That's our job. We communicate emotions, and we make our clients' dreams come true. That's the way we work. And of course, all the technological part, the professional part, all that comes after. But the main key is that, like, that emotion, the wow that they didn't even know what they wanted, but they see it and they, yes, that's what we wanted. So that's the way for us. And we're always being, emotion driven to it, like go beyond what's evident and always try to emotion and very holistic in the approach we do to our designs and innovation at every level, and always nature. That's why he always wins,
for companies and for people very well organized like you, I think this will be a good time, because you were already working in this way, and which is the way which now is mandatory if you want to survive in this new year, or at least to do well.
I hope but it's amazing that it had to be mandatory. I can't. That's the part that I don't understand. Like, why it wasn't before?
Before.
Like, that's the way to be. That's the way to go. I see before. That idea of the ego, one name shining there in design. No, the person, the designer is the name and that's never, we never been the case to us. It's just all together. It's a team. It's all of the effort. it's all of us creating a beautiful thing. It's not only one person.
Yeah.
Like, for example, you do the idea or the sketch is so pretty picture, but behind,
Yeah.
like there's tons of all of us
Work.
that
Yeah.
make it happen and
True.
work together, and make it, give it more than 100%. I'm so lucky. All my people, this amazing team, vendors, the providers, the installers, the staff, like our team, all of us working together, and all of us give more than 100%. That's why the projects come as they come.
There's a
That's
line
how
of professionals.
That's amazing.
Definitely.
So we're very thankful.
We're on a good track. Sandra, thanks so much for this conversation. Really, I would talk with you for hours, but I don't want to keep you on
Thank
this.
you.
So thanks so much.
No,
This was amazing. Yeah, really.
No, thank you. I never, like, I don't like to. There's many other challenges ahead, and that will cover, like, I don't know how many hours in the technological part. But I think we already, we already know that.
Yeah.
For me,
Yeah.
more to focus on what's the solutions and what's good. Okay, these are the challenges, but we're here to cooperate and work together for the new future, and we have the amazing chance to shape it.
Sure.
So let's
and also
do it.
also to be humble and realize that you have to change if you want to survive. You have to evolve, as the giraffes did with their neck, in order to reach the higher leaves on the trees.
Because they didn't find anything.
Yeah, exactly. On the ground.
Yeah, change is the only constant. That's
Cool.
it.
Sandra, thanks so much, and hope to see you very soon. Maybe in Rio next time. And
I hope so. Yes, for sure that will happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Salone has been cancelled, of course, but
For next year.
Next year, I think it will be amazing. Also because Milan was one of the main center of the epidemic in Italy. And so I think they will do a good job next year in order to come back
I cannot wait. It's to go to my beloved Italy.
Sandra, thanks so much again. We'll be in touch very soon.
Thank you, Stefano.
Peace. Bye-bye. Ciao.
Bye-bye. See you soon.